here's how I painted all this magnetic scenery, the jail beds, all the traps and things yesterday in an hour and a half, including a bunch of detailed work and our very mature side quest. Hey you guys, so I need to paint these up today, and I thought I'd do, well, it's not quite a stream because it's not live, it's more, I guess, me recording a painting session, and I'm going to try and talk you through it as we go. So, starting with, so these aren't Army Painter, but man, I really like them. They're Revel Aquacolor. I can't remember what brown it's called because I painted over the top of it, but a dark brown. Basically, any dark brown would suit. So, if I was using the Army Painter, the brown to match that would be Dirt Splatter. Okay. Then, now where have I put my long brush? Here it is. This is a nice flat dry brush that I got from Hobbycraft, and I really like these flat ones. So I put a bit of brown on my brush, take most of it off, and then I'll start by just doing a diagonal stroke across our trapdoor. Then I'm going to go in the opposite direction to the grain. And we'll do the same on the other side. Then I just need to do the edges. And again going perpendicular to the marks. Hey! It's okay, it's not live. I'm doing a recording, painting a set all in one go. But I'm going to do a voiceover over the top, so I'm just ad-libbing it as I go. Sorry, I won't stop painting if you don't mind.
You carry on.
Thanks, Mum. Love you. Love you too. Okay, so we'll then go on to the toilets, and again, we are keeping our brush perpendicular to the texture of the wood. That way we don't get too much of the paint going down into the cracks, and it shows up the design a bit better. Of course, if we do get any of the brown going down into the cracks, we don't mind too much, because we'll probably do another layer over the top. And then oh, sorry, I've just had the best idea for a video at some point, because Mum really wanted me, when I was doing the toilets, she really wanted me to do one with a little poo in there, and I didn't in the end, and I've just thought that this has to be a crafting video that I do. How to put a poo in your loo. Oh, I don't know if... It's not the video that people have been asking me for. But I really want to do this now. Okay, so there we go. There are our toilets done. Oh, well, not. I was only expecting 2 toilets, but that's okay. We will do a third. Take long. Oops. And again, I don't mind if I'm a bit heavier on the paint there. In fact, we can even say I'm going a bit heavier just to show you what it looks like. Okay. Now again, I'm going to do the brown perpendicular to the grain of the wood. And again, I'm not too worried if I go over the edges because I'm probably going to do a second layer in a lighter colour, so it'll all come out in the wash. We'll do our next one. Lovely. And I think we'll do a second layer on our trapdoor. And again, we're not too worried if the paint goes down into the cracks because we'll be doing some a highlight layer anyway. Just do the edge. Alright, I will leave it there with the dark brown for now. So next I'm going on to, again, it's aqua colour. It might just be called brown. I can't remember because I painted over the top, I'm sorry. Next time, maybe I need some more brushes, to be honest. I was thinking that when I was starting these painting tutorials and I was like, oh boy, I've got like, this is one of my best brushes, and can you see? Not really, but it's a bit split at the end, and as soon as you use it, it just kind of goes. So, yes, I need some new brushes. Maybe I will go tomorrow and get some paint so that the next time I do one of these, I can actually tell you what paint I'm using, which could be helpful. Okay, but for now, for the purposes of this, a lighter brown. So if I was matching it with the Army Painter, it would be more in line with Monster Brown. And for these ones, I tried to have my brush relatively dry because I want to show off the grain. I don't know, the texture of the burlap sacking, like the sackcloth texture. Whoops. So I'm trying to do a dry brush with a drier brush so that we don't risk smearing the details, or not as much. I mean, to be honest, it's not going to be the end of the world because I will be using a wash. So it'll be fine. Oh, that was a lot, wasn't it? Is that too much on your brush, Annabelle? No, it'll be fine. For a tutorial, definitely. Oh well. maybe I won't worry about it too much. Then we'll just do a lighter dry brush over the top here. And this, I don't have as much paint on my brush, but I'm just trying to get some of the colour out. I've just realised when we do that video where we put a little poo in the toilet, I've realised we could also do one where we do a bit of wee with some Mod Podge. How old are you, Annabelle? We don't. Let's. Okay, and I'll do one last layer of dry brushing on our jail beds. Nice. Now I've just realised that I haven't done those guys and I need to give them a base coat of our dark brown. So back again. And I'm going to use just a very small brush for this. This is where I need to get some more brushes. Oh God. Oh well, never mind. Never mind. We'll just paint the entire thing brown. See if I can use a different brush to do the dry brushing. To be honest, it's not bad paint. This is what I should do, isn't it? Just paint the entire thing brown and do a wash. Yes. This is what we're doing now. Oops. Sorry, guys. It's rather bouncing out my fingers. Yeah. And I'll do the lever in a slightly different colour brown so that it shows up better. Do you know, I'm really starting to think that the lighting may not be very good for this. Well, even if the lighting is bad, I'm still going to put it live because I said I was going to do a video. And I've already had one video where I was like, it's not really good enough, so I'm not going to post it. And I was like, I need to refilm that. So if I refilmed the replacement one as well, never going to get work done. Okay. Oh, while that's drying, actually, I'm just washing off my brush a wee bit. Okay. Hopefully, taken the worst off my brush. Because we are going to do the jail door and the jail windows and our bear trap and possibly part of the spike traps, although, and the spinning blade traps, but to be honest, I might do those afterwards with a brush. Oh yes, and this is Deadly Iron by the Army Painter, otherwise known as Plate Mail Metal. Okay, so get a bit of metal on my brush, take some off and nice and simple, this one. May have to come back to do that there. No, I do love it when you just do a layer of dry brushing and the detail of the thing comes out and you're like, nah. Tell me that's not satisfying. I'll just do round the outside edge. I realise most of these are going to need a second layer because I put my fingers everywhere on them. I know that it's like, oh, once you painted it, you're not meant to touch areas because the paint rubs off, because of course it does. But I'm not that person.
I've pretty much given that just a decent coat. This really isn't the brush to be doing this. That's doing a good job, eh? Just careful I don't transfer paint silver from my fingers onto the wood of the spike trap. And I'll do a base layer of this on our spinning blades. And I'll use a small brush to go down the edge slightly on the inside, although I try to not let the brush go right to the bottom. Gosh, it's quite hard to see when you do it at an angle for the camera. And then a little bit on the there for the spinny bit. I don't know what you call it, the stick that it spins around. Axle? Axle? This isn't the final coat. Just putting a base coat on. Nice. Well, since I've got some extra, I might as well go and do some of the spikes properly. I never like wasting paint. And basically, to get the spikes fully coated, or the way I've found it best to do is to just go round and rotate it 90 degrees each time, and then just stroke each spike with your brush. Yeah, covering all the spikes is the thing that takes a longer time. So I find. And, of course, I note that I've got a bit of silver on the wood from my fingers. That is okay. We will come back and fix that. This is only our first coat. But I've still got some silver to use up. So I'm going to go around the edges. Don't have to, but since I've got the silver, why not? And I'm keeping my brush at a bit of an angle so that the silver isn't going all the way down. Basically, I still want a bit of shadow. You see what I mean? It's not going all the way to the inside edge. Nice. Ideally, my painting would be a bit more straight, but oh dear, and there it's gone right up to the edge. Never mind. That's what fingernails are for. Oh God. That's what fingernails are for, she said, spreading it everywhere with her fingernails. Nice. Okay, well that's fine. Just need to do it nicely the first time. Easy. Oh, and I've still got some silver to use up, so I guess I'll put it over the top. I have to be careful. Sometimes I get into this thing where I'm like, oh, I mustn't waste the paint, so I keep using it until, like, I make everything so much worse than if I had not felt such dedication to using up every last piece of paint. Now we'll leave it there for the moment. Okay, now I'm going to use a bit of elven silver. Basically a slightly brighter silver. I think it might have another name. Oh yes, Matches Shining Silver. Now where did I put my brush? Aha! In the wash pot. That's very sensible. That's a good place for it. Nice. What I'm doing here is trying to do the flat. So I'm trying to use the flat side of the brush, so not the tip. And have the brush almost parallel with the wood, with the metal grain. Bit annoying that I put a bit of silver on there, but that's fine. Just trying to drag my brush along the top and let the surface texture come out rather than trying to paint it on, if you know what I mean. She said, putting a bit of silver there and there, that's fine. That's what washes are for. Yeah, not bad. Should I have done both sides at the same time? Now I need to get stood up to dry. Okay. Then I know this isn't really a brush to do dry brushing, but hold my hat. Again, I'll be putting a dark wash over it anyway, but it's just nice to pick it out. Then do a layer of the bright It's handy to do the silver side first, because if you do all the bricks first, so often when you're doing this, you see how you've got a bit of silver around the edge? It's very often when I'm doing it that happens, and it gets so annoying if you do the bricks first, because then you have to do them again. Let's see, does this add much? I'm not sure that adds much to our lives. So in that case, the last bit for the silver, for now, is going to be that jail door. I know it's a bit dark and boring. Like, I often think, oh, jail cell doors and things, they should have a darker metal. They shouldn't have this shining silver layer over the top. But here's the thing. Whether it's realistic or not, it's a lot more visible on your game tables with the shining silver. So I would still recommend it, even if it's not quite as realistic. Oops, daisies. Yeah, see, I shouldn't do all the sides at once, because then it doesn't have a side to lie on. Learn from my mistakes. The sill. See, as a door, with it being much brighter I don't know, it just looks better in my opinion. Now the dry brush, I know we'll be putting a wash on it soon. I am just shaking up, so we are using drow skin, which matches necromancer cloak, basically a dark grey, but this one needs a lot of shaking because I have noticed in the past that if I only shake it a little bit and then pour it out, it's very separated. This is, you know how every, like, 1 or 2 paints in a range will be like super keen to separate. This is one of those. Let's see what colour comes out. Oops. Dark grey! There we go. Start with doing the edges. Ha! I've just remembered that I use the lighter grey on the windows. That's fine. I'll just do this one and then we'll leave it. So I go pretty thick on this. Yeah. Probably use a bit too much paint, but that's fine. You could really be using a bigger brush to do this. This is what I mean when I say I need to go and get some brushes, because I need to get a brush that is the right size and not destroyedness, that it can do these kind of painting jobs nice and quickly. Same jazz. Oh, sod it, I might as well do the rest of the windows with this grey. I'll do it as a heavy-handed brush around the outside. And then I can do the light grey as a dry brush. By the way, I realise that I often put my fingers over things that I've already painted, and that can lead to some of the paint rubbing off, so then you have to go back and do another layer. And I know that some people use things like on the end of a stick, so I don't know, this would be magnetically, some people would paint it, you know, like this, where they're not holding the piece themselves with their hand. That's, I don't know, I find it harder to paint like this, which is why I normally just hold the piece normally. Let me see if I can, let's see, I guess it's okay. Let's see. I suppose that is quite good actually. Okay, let's see. Bit too much paint on my brush there. Yeah, right. That can't be fixed. Okay, honestly, maybe this is better. This might be a better way of doing things. Have I already done that one? Yes, I have. Ah! I want to use up the grey. Okay, we'll do the back of these. I should be using a much bigger brush. Why am I using my tiny brush to do this? Well, actually, I can tell you exactly why. Is because I don't really have a different brush that's any good apart from the big dry brush, which is not really worth getting wet just for this, and it's not really the brush for it anyway. Yeah, I'm really starting to settle in on the idea of that I need to go brush shopping. I wonder, can I, maybe it's too hard to, kinda. You learn something new every day, don't you? Yeah, there's no way, there's not enough grey to do the whole back. Ah. Well, that's fine. No, do the button last. Okay. Now we are going to do these chaps. So we have another brown, whose name I do not know because I painted over it. But it's basically a warm brown is what I'm going for. So I don't know if I have an army painter that actually colour matches it, but maybe leather brown. I know, dryad brown, also known as leather brown. That maybe will be your closest of the army painters that I have. They probably do a paint that does match this, but now you might argue, why are you putting a warm brown on the traps? And you would have a very good point, and I'm starting to realise that this is not the colour to go with the trap, but that's fine, I've started now. No, we are going to continue. We'll do one with the warm brown, and we'll do one with a different brown. How about that? Again, I'm just moving my brush perpendicular to the grain of the wood. Again, I really should be using a different brush to do this. Not bad. Let's do it like this then. And again, I'm just doing my brush perpendicular to the grain of the wood and keeping my brush pretty flat. Oops, gone a bit over there, but that's okay. We'll put a wash on. I do wonder if this is maybe a bit orange. I think this just isn't a great brown for this job. Well, I'll do the other thing so that we've got a matching pair. Yeah, I think we need a different brown. Alright, what brown shall we go for? Well, why don't we go for Monster Brown? That's always a nice one. Oops, definitely going a bit over. Oh, that's what washes are for, eh? I like it when you start to see the grain of it. See, we've gone over one of our, now we'll have to repaint it, that's okay. You know what? You tell me which one you prefer. I'm not so sure anymore. Well, no, I hate leaving a bit of paint unused. It's a bad idea, I've got nothing that needs it. You know, if you put it on, you're going to regret it. Regret it. Do it. I think I'm learning that they're better to do with this brush. Right, this is Desert Yellow, also known as Harpy Feathers. I never imagined Harpy Feathers to be this colour. I would have thought them more as a sort of raggedy grey. But still, why not? And then with this, we're using it to do the straw. And I'm just using my brush travelling in the direction of the grain, because that way your paint is more likely to go down on the inside. Later, when we do the dry brushing, we'll go perpendicular, but for now, we will follow the grain. You don't have to do straw there. It's a sort of bit of a question mark as to whether that's straw or just the puckering or breaking of the sack. But up to you. I've reached the point again when I wish that I had a bigger brush. And then with this bit, I kind of, in the middle, I sort of follow the grain. But when I get to the outside, I kind of go around it, again with my brush flat, just so I can pick up the straw. So similar thing. To begin with, we are plenty of paint on our brush and going in the direction of the straw. Oops. I'm quite excited to get this Patreon set up. I'm thinking, if it works, I know it's a big if, but it will mean I can do more painting videos and stuff, and it would be so cool if I got to do more of the world building. Remember how I used to do the World Building Wednesday streams? And they were so much fun. I miss it. It'd be good. We will see. So again, just going perpendicular to the straw up here. And then in the centre, put a nice blob. Well, you don't have to, but I do. To show that there's more straw in the centre. And then, again, you don't have to, but I like to do a second coat with whatever straw colour I've got left. Just because I think it, especially when it's black that you've primed it beforehand, it's happy for that extra coat. Alright, let's let those dry. And while they're drying, let's have some fun with washes. In particular, we are going to use if I can find it. Which I can't. Ha! There we go. So we are going to use Shadow Wash, matches Dark Tone from the War Paints range. It's an army painter wash that I do quite like. Where is our... There is our... There we go. Gonna spread it around. Then I'm going to take some of the excess out. There we go. Basically, I just wanted to show those rivet holes a bit better and to show the spring a bit better. I might do one last dry brush layer, like whoop, along the side of the spring, but apart from that, I reckon we can leave that one there. Unless we want to put some blood on it, which we could do. We could do this. No, now I have a whole bunch of darkness that I don't need to use. Oh. You really shouldn't. I shouldn't be putting wash on here. I don't want wash on there. Stop it, woman. Stop it. No, but I have realised what I could use that light brown for. The levers. So this is Monster Brown. I won't use much, teeny tiny bit. Now, a fun fact, there is, wrapped around the top of this lever, a bit of cloth, which is incredibly difficult to see. The detail is very fine, but it is there. And I did that because when it was just wood, it had a bit of a look to it. So yes, and I thought, oh, I'll wrap a bit of cloth around the top so it's A, easier for people to hold, and B, well, I thought it made it look better. It will show up a bit with the wash. I'll paint it white on this one so you can see it better. Oops. As I say, very fine detail. Hang on. Let me just finish with this and then I'll put it on. See, we're definitely going to need a wash to go in there. That's okay. Not with a little bit of that pale brown left, might as well just do the patch. Because we'd like the patch to be a different colour, wouldn't we? Quite like the patches in this colour. Nice. What do you think? One more layer? I think one more layer because I'm going to put a wash on it, a Valajo wash, that can be quite powerful. So one more layer maybe. Lovely. Okay, I will just do that bit around the top of the lever, and we shall be using my favourite skeleton bone. Oh no, this is Banshee Brown. I thought it was skeleton bone. Where is my skeleton bone? There we go. There, see what I mean? Bit of cloth around the top. Maybe I'll do a bit of cloth around the top of this one too. It does make the lever easier to spot. It's easier to see at a distance across the table. Is that lever up or down? Nice. Ooh. I tell you what, I could highlight some of the straw with this. Now, I'm not sure that's a good idea, but I've started it now, so I feel like I need to continue. We're very close to being finished. I'm just going to use... Wow. That is a lot in the lid. But anyway, this is Dungeon Grey by the Army Painter, also known as Orc Grey. Basically, a pale grey. And again, this is not the brush to be dry brushing with. But if you just dry brush a light pale grey over the side, I find it makes the bricks stand out a bit more. And of course gives the stone its rough texture. I think it looks better. Okay, I might have gone a bit heavy there. Never mind. If we really don't like it, I'll put a wash on. Now bring it back down. But we'll see what it's like when it's dried, because it often dries a bit, less starkly. Now the question is, okay, this isn't very good because it's a bit shiny. Normally, there we go. With one like this, honestly, I don't think that needs another, like a paler grey. Yeah, okay, well, with a paler grey, let's see, do I have one that I've made already? Not within reach, it's fine. Yeah, do you know what? Because I was thinking a paler grey to stand out more, but I quite like it as it is. Yeah. No, I think I'm going to leave that without making it a paler grey. So we are very near the end. So in that case, we want big red of our button. Oh, do you know what? So it's up to you whether you want blood on your traps or not. Oh yes, this is one of the ones that needs to be super well shaken. So, this is Fresh Blood by the Oh no, it's neutral red! Really? I could have sworn this was Fresh Blood. Never mind. Neutral red it is. Oh, I haven't washed my brush. I want a big red button. So you can either do it where you just do the end and then you're definitely certain to get a lovely round red button. Or if you want it to be red around the edges, you can do the extra, just a careful ring around it with your brush. And then that way your button is even more realistic from whatever angle, but you risk accidentally getting some red on the wood. Your choice. Okay, so I'm going to do this one as if it's already got blood on the ends. Yeah. I find that the red makes them stand out a bit more. Do I want red on this too? Well, we'll do the spinning blades to begin with. And then we'll just do some red at the ends of each blade. And then a little line where there's a blood splatter. And I'm trying to work out which way it splashes. I guess it splashes because it would be going round that way. So I guess it splashes this way. Oops, and we need some red on that one too. Make sure it looks okay on the other side. Put a bit more red on there and there. Nice. Oh, shall we put a bit of blood on our bear trap? Shall we treat ourselves? Let's treat ourselves. Just a little bit. Hey. Just a cheeky bit around the top, just to remind you. I need to add a bit of colour. Nice. Okay, and last, well, almost last, I'm going to put a brown wash on these two guys, and we are going to be using the Valajo dipping formula. I suppose I could dip it. No, I'm going to use a brush. That's one thing, is it does go everywhere. It is one of those, I find that their washes over time like clog around the top of the screwy thing and then sort of go everywhere on your desk when you open them. And I'm not sure if that is an Annabelle problem or a lids of the Valajo Game Wash problem. But either way. Ah, see, this is a nice wash. It's a sepia tone. And it's good for going, because you can use it on the straw as well as the sacking. It's a nice way of bringing up the different textures in the cloth and in the straw. Don't worry, we will give the straw one last dry brush later. Hey! Quite tempted to use it on these. I was going to use a dark wash, but let's see about this one. Well, why don't I do a bit of each and we can compare, eh? Why not? So that's with the sepia wash. No, I really want to test something. Oh yes, and a dark wash on the other ones. Hey, it all comes round. We can use this dark tone. Although I'm a bit suspicious that this is going to be a bit too dark, but it's an experiment. Maybe it's a really grimy dungeon. No, I wonder if the button shouldn't have the wash on it because you want it a bit brighter. Hey, well, I am going to leave it there for today, and I will just show you some pictures. Oh god, I'm back, and do you know what I'm going to do as a cheeky, you know, encore? Don't worry, it won't be this colour at the end. That would, I think if it was that colour all the way at the, you know, if this was the pure colour that it was going to end up being, we'd have some questions for this poor gentleman. Or lady. Alright, and for this next bit, we're gonna twist some paper and then chop it. Twist a bit more. Twist into a little and then we have some Mod Podge. Basically, I'm using it as glue in this moment in time. So I'm going to get a bit Mod Podge, add it to the bottom of my paper sausage, and poke that down there. I wonder if that's quite sausage enough. How about we do another one? Oops. Oh dear. No, I don't think anyone's using the toilet after that. Okay. Oops, we're gonna let that dry. Okay, I haven't given it long enough to dry, but I'm impatient. So there we are. So I'm going to put some black down in this bog. And then we will go over it with brown. But first of all, I just want to make the entire thing right down into any creases black. Okay. Really, this still needs a bit longer to dry. That's fine. Well, I'll spend a bit of time just doing a cheeky highlight on the straw. Now I do note that it hasn't finished drying. As it has been pointed out before many times by me, occasionally by other people, I am an impatient bugger. I would highly recommend you guys wait until it's fully dry rather than cowboying it. But I'm just doing a dry brush of that same straw colour over the top. Oh no! There. Barely notice it happened. Ah, shit. I got it anywhere else? Nice. No, this one really, really isn't dry enough to do. Oh, you could be messing up the whole thing here. Yeah, don't do it, my friend. Don't do it. Wow, you are doing it, aren't you? Yes, you are. It's going to make no difference. You're just going to... No. Okay, you can stop now. Stop, stop, stop. Quit while you're ahead. We'll just do this. Could do just a smidge. There. There. Leave it. Leave it, woman. We're going to leave it. So I am going to get a little bit of Mod Podge. A little bit, she said. Good. On the top of here, because it's obviously the perfect mixing container. I am going to put the little bit from that cap onto the Mod Podge. Using a brush I'm less keen on, I'll mix it in. Kind of scooping it into the middle so that it dries out slower. I suppose I could put some cling film or something, but anyway, the point is I want it to dry out a bit so it's a bit thicker but not entirely, and this will be the remainder of the urine. It's mostly dry enough. Now I'm going to get, what's poo brown? I'm going to say bear brown, which matches oak brown, which I am now christening turd brown. Army Painter, this is why you sponsor me. Nope, this needs a lot more, because if that's your turd, whoo, let's give it a bit more of a shake, eh? Okay, let's see if this is shaken up enough. I'm still not convinced by that being your turd colour. Oh, there we go. That's a bit better. Right. Oh, it looks like it's of one spiral poo, doesn't it, rather than being... Oh well. I suppose we could do one of them a slightly different colour? Or different colour on the end? I feel like I'm getting too far into this, you know. I think I'm getting too far into this. No, you know what? I may be getting too far into this, but yes. Just put a bit of a lighter touch on the end there. Oh, I think that's too light, don't you? Oh, God. I knew this was a mistake to get this far into it. Well, maybe... Leave the poos alone, Annabelle. Leave the poos alone. Leave them alone. Yeah, it's definitely not dried, but I'm impatient. So, where is my brush? Here it is. And I'm just gonna, with my brush, and we'll leave it as that. Then in the morning is probably when I will. Is this a good idea? Dunno. We'll see. Could be a terrible idea. Not convinced. We'll leave it at that, shall we? And we'll come back tomorrow and see how it looks. It's now tomorrow. What do you think? And of course we will start with our toilet with the poo. And then the wee. I'm very mature, you know. And then I'll take us slowly to have a look at the different. Oh, and now you can see the bit of cloth I was talking about at the end of the lever. Hey,